we have an article in front of us, okay? So I want you to make sure you have this article out, and if you haven't, most of you have your stuff open. We are going to read the first 3 paragraphs of this, and then you're going to generate your own level 1 question, okay? Are you just going to generate a question by like the first sentence you see? Are you just going to make a question out of that? No. No, right? You're going to read through these first 3 paragraphs, and you have to think, what do I think is the most important thing here, right? And then you're going to look through the text, and you're going to search through it, and then when you find that, then you're going to write your level 1 questions. So we are going to read our first article, and we're going to read it how we normally read or how we've had a lot of experience reading. So I'm going to read it, and if I stop on a word, what do? You read the next word. Do you read the next 2 words? No, just the next word, okay? So that's how we're going to do this today. Now, we might come across a vocabulary word that you've had a lot of experience with. Maybe you know it, or maybe like we're kind of getting to know these words. So what's going to happen there, if I highlight something and I make an annotation above, or I write something above it, what are you going to do? The same thing, right? So maybe I highlight a word and I ask you guys to think of a synonym, and I write it above. You will also be doing the same thing. Is that clear? Yes. Okay, so let's start. The winter of 1777 to 1778 was the low point of America's struggle for independence. The troubles began the previous August when the British fleet unloaded a force of redcoats at the top of the Chesapeake Bay with the objective of capturing the American capital at Philadelphia. Now that we've read all 3 paragraphs, I want you to generate your own level 1 question. Now, before we start it, what I want you to do is look at your checklist or your criteria, okay? I want you to look at your criteria. So the first piece of criteria is that questions can be answered in 1 word or 1 sentence. Okay, so 1 word or 1 sentence, okay? That's important. You should be able to check off that box. The second part is that answers can be found word for word in the text. So are you going to make any inferences yet? No. Not in writing, right? Right now, level 1 is right there, okay? You should be able to point to the answer. Do you need to restate the question? No, right? Because again, this is more of a reading strategy than a writing strategy. I'm more worried about you knowing how to demonstrate your thinking of understanding the text than you being able to perfectly restate your question, because I know that you can already do that, okay? So 1, answers can be found word for word in the text. Another one is that it can be answered in 1 word or 1 sentence. We already talked about how we're not just going to pick like the numbers, right? The easiest part. We're going to actually pick what we think would be most important, right? Like if we were going to go take a quiz tomorrow on this and you wanted your partner to be the most prepared, you would want to generate a question that's going to help you study, but then they're also going to study by answering that question. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. You are going to take this piece of paper, okay, where it says question, answer, evidence. And I want to do the bottom part first because I want you to write out at least where we're finding this. So do you guys, the bottom portion, let me show you mine. You're going to write the Continental Army at Valley Forge, 1777. So we know that this is where we're getting our information from, okay? The next part is going to be generating our question. So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you 2 minutes for this, okay? And what I want you to do is look over your text, and I want you to think about the most important information, right? What is going to help you the most? And then you're going to generate a level 1 question by yourself. Now, if we need more time, I will give it to you, but I'm going to give you that 2 minutes right now, okay? So I want this done independently, okay? And I would like a level 1 question on your paper. We'll go through and check the boxes off after, but this is completely independent. You're writing down a level 1 question. Are you going to answer it? No. No, you're not going to answer it. Right now, generate a level 1. I'm going to set the timer for 2 minutes. This is by yourself.